Hi guys, if you have your test booked, you would have heard about something called Show Me Tell Me. Show Me Tell Me is a group of questions that you can find online on the government website about what the examiner is going to ask you about the health of the car. 5 of these questions could be asked when you're driving. So he has the choice of asking of 5 questions. He's going to choose one of the 5 when you're driving. So I'm just going to go through the 5 that he could ask you when you're actually physically driving the car. The reason why this is on your test is because you need to be able to interact with dials on the car without wobbling. It's really important that you don't wobble when you do this. If the examiner was to ask you to do something when you're on a roundabout, safely do the roundabout first without interacting with your ancillary control. Get the dangerous bit done, get the roundabout done, or get the meeting traffic situation that you've got with all the parked cars done first, and then interact with the dial or the horn or whatever he's asked you to interact with, which is called your ancillary control. So this is obviously my car. The ancillary control can be in different places. I'm driving an Audi A1, so of course the buttons and stuff may be different in your car or your instructor's car, but this will give you a general idea. So when you're driving down the road, when you are asked by the examiner, please in your own time, can you open and close your window? He wants you to open your window. If you open another window by mistake, don't worry about it, but he does want you to open your window. So eventually you're going to want to get to the point of opening yours. Now, of course, a lot of us have opened and closed the window because we've just been little kids and we play with buttons and dials and stuff. So this is a pretty easy one. You locate the opening and closing button in your car, and then you would use it bringing it up or pushing it down. And then you don't have to open the window completely, by the way. Like, it's just like open it a little bit and then shut it. So you don't have to open it all the way and just get like a tidal wave of like air in your face. Just open it a little bit and then shut it again. Another question that you could get is squirting water on the windscreen, front and back. Okay, so in my car, there's a dial here, which looks extremely like a indicator stalk, but it's on the opposite side. And then for me to get my water to come out, which is pretty standard in most cars, I'm going to bring it towards the steering wheel. So there's this kind of like spongy bit there. So I'm just going to bring it towards. And when I bring it towards, I'm kind of like welcoming the water to come towards me. So I'm bringing the water towards me and it squirts all of the front of the windscreen. What tends to happen is the windscreen wipers will then wipe it all off. And then there's the stop. And then after about a second, the windscreen wipers go again, which always freaks all my students out. Like, oh God, I haven't turned it off. It's just that they've designed it so it wipes it off, and then there's this little delay, and then if a trickle comes down, a little like drip, then this kind of like random like one just swipes it over and does it for you. So it's very likely that you've got this random swipe coming in. You haven't done anything wrong, don't worry. Okay, so that's how to get the front one. He may want you to do the back one. In my car, it's exactly the opposite. I would push away, I would push towards the car. So in this circumstance, I would push towards the car, which actually turns the back windscreen wiper on itself. If it was raining, the back windscreen wiper would come on. But because I've now pushed onto the spongy bit, can you see that spongy bit that's happening? Holding that will make the water come out of the back. Now in my car, once that spongy bit has been pressed and the water's come out, when I release it, the back windscreen wiper will still be on. So with this car, this Audi A1, I'm going to need to turn that off by bringing it one click towards, like that. So that one does have to be switched off in my car anyway. All right, so that's the next one. Again, make sure that you're doing the show me, tell me questions in a place where it's safe for you to fully do it without it making you wobble, lose control. Make sure that if there's anything dangerous going on the road, that you deal with that situation first. He might ask you to sound the horn when it's safe to do so. Again, make sure that you've got control of your car, make sure that like there's nothing going on, make sure that you're not going to scare the living daylights out of somebody who's nearby. Obviously a group of bikes just went past me. If I'd sounded my horn then, that would have frightened the hell out of them. So it's very important that you check your surroundings, that you look at the situation, just make sure that no one's going to be really frightened by your sound of the horn. And then whatever technique you've got here, I mean mine's right in the middle, so I have to use this type of position of my hand, and then I need to press down firmly with this powerful part of my hand, press down for it to sound the horn like that. On certain cars it is in a different place. Sometimes it can actually be on the end of like the indicator or on the other side. It can be in different places. It's traditional to have it in the middle, but you know, make sure that you locate and know where your horn is, and press it firmly just for a moment, just so you can hear that the horn has been sounded. Okay, so again, moving on to another another moving question. It's the lights, right? So in my car this is ridiculously easy, can be actually a lot harder in other cars. So yeah, in my car this is actually really simple. So if I can just turn this round, and you can see that I've got kind of like a bar here. If my student was driving, this here will say auto, and it shines up in green. It's a really powerful green color. And if you are asked to turn your headlights and taillights, or your dipped headlights and taillights, which is basically your normal driving lights at night time, as my student is driving, when they are in a safe place and they've got control of the car, they are just going to press that button. It's as simple as that. And then on the dashboard, it will then say, you've turned your dipped headlights on. So they get the warning like actually spoken to them on the dash. So this is probably the easiest car I've ever had to do lights, because there's normally like a twisty thing. You have to like twist the dial. But yeah, it is extremely easy in this car. The thing that I will say about this is when you're interacting with this particular question, I wouldn't put it on and then turn it off straight away, because it's going to look like you flashed someone, and this might be quite dangerous, because if someone's very keen to try and get out of a junction or something and you turn your light on and then turn it off, it could look like you've just flashed. Even though we're not allowed to flash, people do flash, and people may misinterpret this. But so if you get this, check your surroundings, make sure that you're safe. Really make sure that no one's going to see it as a welcoming of you letting them go or anything. I suggest that you put your light on, at a safe time. Drive for a bit, and then later, if you're going to turn it off later. I wouldn't put it on and then turn it off. You may have like serious issues on your hand. You may have like people walking out or cars pulling out in front of you. However, or whatever, sorry. So just choose to do that in a safe place. The next one, which I think is probably the most tricky to keep in a completely straight line. So if my students are going to have issues with this, it's the demisting question. So it depends on the car that you're driving, obviously. So again, this is how to do it in my Audi, right? But I would say that you should do this in sections. So when you're driving, if he says, I'd like you to demist the back window, that's ridiculously easy, the back one in my car. The back one is just locate the button. Press the button. And then the orange light will come up here to say that you've done the back one. You can tell it's the back one because it looks like a little rectangle. However, the front one is the one that you have to change to hot air. You've got to put the fan on. You've got to make sure that the air is coming out of the right place. So when you get this question, again, if you've been asked in a difficult place like a roundabout or a difficult meeting traffic situation, prioritize the danger, make sure that you deal with the most dangerous thing first, which is going to be the driving. And then when that's done, then move your attention to start to have a think about doing your ancillary control. So I suggest that you look down, like when you've got control, you look down to locate where all the dials are, and then you look back at the road. Then if you feel safe, then you're going to interact with the air heat first. So you turn it all the way up to maximum heat. you're going to dial it right up to maximum heat, okay? The examiner does want maximum. One of my students didn't do maximum once, and the examiner was like, I need more. So maximum heat, okay? Moving on to the middle dial, which is the fan. Turn the fan totally on, maximum, okay? Maximum from 0 off to maximum on. And then make sure that the line is facing the front windscreen picture. See the line there? So I can turn the line there. Oh, there, that is the front windscreen. Other pictures can include the feet, the feet and the windscreen, or just towards your face, okay? But it needs to be on the windscreen there. Now with that, because you have turned it on to maximum, like the fans are like, it's like proper tornado in here, and it's really, really hot, and you're probably really, really hot because it's your test anyway. So you're going to want to, when it's safe to do so again, you're going to want to turn all of that off as well. So safely, you're going to need to interact with the dials again. So you're going to want to come in and you're going to want to turn the fan off, bring it down to the left, and then take it down to a cool air. I suspect you're going to want it to be on a cool air because, you know, you're on your test and you're going to be feeling a bit warm, I would have thought. So I would say out of all of the show me, tell me questions that you're going to be doing when you're driving, I would say that that one is probably the one that I would, as a driving instructor, be the most cautious about my student wavering, or like, you know, going off to the left, or nearly hitting a parked car, or nearly hitting a curb or something like that. So I say to my students, look ahead, locate the buttons, then look ahead. Then with safely holding the steering wheel with your dominant right hand, if you know, or your right hand, it might not be your dominant hand, but hold it securely with your right hand. Left hand goes in, spins it round to the hot, then look back at the road. Deal with any hazards that you need to, and then if it's safe to do so, go back in and turn it onto the fan maximum. And then again, drive a bit and then check to see if the air is facing out the front windscreen. And then same for turning it all off. Make sure you're safe, look down, take the fan off, look ahead again, take the heat off. It doesn't all have to be done in one moment. Like, you know, don't have to do all 3 dials. Just like do one, drive a bit, do one, drive a bit, do one, drive a bit, because that one, you know, you don't want to be wobbling all over the place. So those are the show me, tell me questions for inside the car. Hope that's helpful. And I'll do another video for underneath the for underneath the bonnet. I have made these ones before, but I just haven't put them on YouTube. I didn't keep the video, so I'll have to do them all again, but they're on my Instagram and they're on my Facebook page if you need immediate assistance of getting those now. So just have a look up my other socials. All right, so I hope that helps anyway, and when I can get around to it, I'll do underneath the bonnet ones and the rest of the questions inside the car. But these are just the moving ones. These are the ones that he's going to ask you on the move. All right. Hope that helps.